Okay, we should be good to go now. Let's see. Is it still? Wonder why X isn't posting a lot. It's so weird. Normally X is supposed to give like a okay. So we are on X, it looks like. This is the X live stream. Cool. Excellent day. Let me get these other links shared in there. And live stream. Normally they give it like X used to give like a pop up, like its own individual post. Um, this is the X live stream. Hop in, vibe and vibe code. Yeah, X was tweaking, so we were going for 20 minutes before I realized that X wasn't like it wasn't live for some reason. I'm gonna have to check, make sure we're on Kick, cause that's where I get all my clips. I do most of my clips over there, but we're on X now. We should be anyway. Pump Fun, YouTube, ClaudeWar Pump Fun stream, TikTok, and Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. But it's still showing like nobody's popping up. I know we're not there. I know I ain't fell off that much. I might be old. I might be on status, but look, something's not right. Something's not right. Not right. Okay, so we are live there. Hmm. All right, so let me check Kick. Let me check Kick. Let me check Kick. Are we on Kick? Yep, we're live. All right, great. And then we'll come over here and push go live on this little blue app called Facebook, and we're still live on Pump Fun. Cool. So live. Yep. All right. So what I was saying was about you guys. Maybe you go back to Kick and look at the first 20 minutes of the stream. We had some technical issues with X, so I had to restart the stream. But as I was saying, I have a hard time believing like in the year 2026 that we aren't past war like that's a feasible option to handle things. It doesn't make much sense to me. And so a couple of reasons that I just noticed it recently was the Israel-Iran conflicts, right? Like I was talking about the drones. In 2023, Iran sent those drones. It was like a lot of them, and the news had time to run headlines on it. And it's just like, why? If you're, it just seemed theatrical. Like, so I really want to believe, and I did believe until recently that all wars, like in this day and age, were manufactured to get things that these leaders want. And even if it's one country A versus country B, the leaders of A or leader, the top of the food chain in those countries aren't actually at odds with each other. They're both working together to get what they want out of a war in their own respective countries, and it has nothing to do with the other country. And the means by which they do that is by sacrificing a lot of attention, bad energy, fear amongst the population, which also has a dual purpose. So I believed that. And so a couple of the reasons where we cut off on this live stream and I had to restart was I was reading through Israel, Netanyahu's government tried to push overhaul the Israeli judiciary system, And then the hang glider attacks in October 7th. It's like the Iron Dome is it's not perfect, but it's one of like the strongest modern day missile defense systems in the world, and it didn't make sense how. And this is my app, Claude War. I didn't really get how. Let's see, where's Lebanon or the Gaza Strip rather? That there's this small group within here. They were able to send hang gliders into Israel and do a massacre, and they don't understand how they were able to. They were on the ground, clearing out neighborhoods, killing people. I don't think that's fake. I don't think that's theatrical. I think that what's really happening is not what I was being told. So that's what I believed, right? And so I didn't understand that. The drone situation before that seemed theatrical. Why, if you're attacking another country, why send drones and give like a 2 hour notice? To the point, it's a news spectacle. Um, and briefly, I'll go over to like why leaders own such like it's that large piece of land in Iran. Israel's not as large, but it's still it's nice. The United States, it's a large piece of land. Like it's a lot. Like and same with Russia. Um, why is this not enough? Right? Like why is that? You mean you own the largest continent, or I mean the largest country in the entire earth, but you want this over here, and you won't let it go, and the people are fighting enough where it's causing your people a headache in Russia, but you still want this. And so that's human nature. I'm not talking about any political leaders specifically. I'm talking about human nature. It's just sad. Sometimes, it's sad. And so, um, what changed my mind on that, right? Because part of what I was believing is that it's all theatrics at the top, done by a club of people, leaders, presidents, prime ministers, uh, supreme leaders, whatever you want to call it, ayatollahs. They're all in a club that we're not in, right? And so, um, in the case of Israel, there like Netanyahu was damn near from corruption charges and what he did changing the government. He was damn near like Israel was like the people were in the streets like worse than protests that we see in America, right? The last 5 or 10 years. That's saying something. Like they were about to overthrow the government until what? Until Iran sent those drones over, and that was an act of war. And so that gave Netanyahu power to what? Do an equivalent of military, not military, but martial law, make everybody go back in. That shuts down and so he had the power to do well. It's a couple things. So you got to understand Israel, and it's very difficult even for me. See these live viewers, that cannot be right. Something is not firing properly. Something is not firing properly. Let me check. We do a sound check. Okay, we should be good to go now. Okay, the sound's working. Make sure the X is live. And if you can hear me in the chat, chime in and say hello so I know you're there, because I know these numbers aren't this low. Not this low. Chime in and say hello so I know you're there, because I know these numbers aren't this low. Okay. This low. Maybe it is. Okay, it's got to be a glitch, at least on the number side. Cool. That's fine. I had to make sure I don't I don't want to waste my breath. But anyway, so just walking you through kind of my train of thought, it seemed like a perfect event when as if you were a leader of Israel and your entire country is going to the streets, um, and damn near about to topple the government with sheer force. If you unalive everyone in your country, then what are you the leader of, right? So that's never like, you know, and it was getting pretty like it was getting pretty majority. And so what I was saying with a lot of people don't realize with Israel is when it's war, when it's times of war, and maybe somebody in here from Israel uh, can kind of elaborate in the chat or back me up on this, but when Israel is in war, the whole vibe changes. All the little petty arguments, and see, like me from America, I could never really grasp this. Most people can't. The closest may have been 9/11, September 11, 2001. But in wartime in Israel, a lot of petty differences and disagreements, judiciary changes that people didn't like. Those they don't get, um, things get set aside because the Israeli people, again, this is coming from I'm on these streams, regardless of my personal political opinion. I represent myself. I represent this app. I represent my community. I represent myself, my family. You know what I mean? Um, so just know that what I'm saying. I'm keeping this factual, and the truth is the truth, right? So. Uh, as I was just feeding into like or walking you through my train of thought of why previously I believed that all war was just manufactured, right? So we got the drones, just to catch you up. We had the drones coming in from Iran in 2023. It took them 2 hours. It was a huge headline spectacle. That doesn't make sense for war, but it also allowed the leaders to lock down Israel. But not only that, it takes the fight out of the protesters. And that's what I was going into, because when it's a wartime, all those differences get set aside. You got to understand, since Israel's existence, look where they are. And so this is the land, I think in the United States, you call it the Bible Belt. Um, Over there, I don't know what exactly the term for it should, what it should be, but it's very strong all through their belief system, religious, right? And so, one religion of Jews and Judaism, it doesn't in this day get along with Muslims, right? And so Israel is surrounded by Muslim countries. Um, this land at one point, which gone back and forth. Um, but without getting too deep into that, just to kind of paint the picture for that, like average, from what I gather, from the average Israeli is citizen, when it's wartime, all that petty bickering and um, I don't know what their equivalent of it is, but we see it here with the Congress meetings and things like we are politicians going back. A lot of that shuts down in Israel because it's about survival. It's about um, there are people in this world that want to literally wipe that off the map because of their religious beliefs. And that's about the only thing that could make humans do such extremist rational things is belief system, unfortunately tied to many religions, and we're not just singling any out, right? But so when it's wartime, this country of Israel, I mean, it's you got to stick together because it's your fellow countrymen surrounded by countries that notoriously don't want you to be there and would just assume you all go jump in this ocean over here. What is that? I can't think of the name of it. It should be on the map. The Mediterranean Sea. It would just assume this whole, again, not just being non-biased. This is just facts. When wartime starts in Israel, the protests stop. When those alarms and those alerts start going off, right? And so my thought didn't lead, I'm not delusional, right? So I'm not like, all the missiles are fake, all the deaths are fake. No, no, I don't think that. But I did previously believe that, the leaders would let things, civilians, things happen to civilians, missiles fall where they may or where they're guided, um, ultimately to get whatever goal they want that's not always against the other country, right? And so when Iran, so what shifted my belief was when Iran, the Ayatollah, got unalived, um, because that belief, it means that all the leaders are working together, more or less. So right now, what do I believe? I don't exactly know what to believe. it's so much propaganda, it's so much shit. Um, but I do know that data and like facts are facts, and so that's what part of why I built this app to kind of try to shift through the noise and just get the raw facts and then record all of it for long enough until it can become predictive and like help in tons of other ways as you can imagine. So yeah, so to sum all that up, how do I feel now? I don't believe like I used to that all wars are manufactured for manipulation of each country's people. Um, and to finish that thought, though, and then I'll move on. So in that case, by war, what happened if Iran got into a war with Israel? Well, not Netanyahu gets to force everyone inside, and not only it's not just forcing, it's just how it goes when you're a country surrounded by people who would just as soon wipe you off the map. You just stop fighting each other. You stop fighting the leaders, you stop fighting your neighbor, and you either fight, survive, or protect your neighbor, all three. That's the priorities. And so, I mean, you don't think our leaders know that, right? Same with America. United States has never been more closer than September 11th after those attacks, and it's really fucked up. But the alternative to that is that we're in 2026, and as a species, we still genuinely see war as a means to solve things. So if they're not all fake, that's just as worse, right? But I digress. So Claude War helps me look through the noise and the propaganda and the politicians' words on all sides. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Cool. We should be on YouTube. So I'm adding uh, some revenue sources to this. So the numbers are looking really good. Actually, I've never had anything quite with quite so much use. We're averaging about 800 new users a day. Since I've been tracking this for 6 days now, 5,600 users. That's almost like 1,000 users a day. Yeah. Um, so I'm preparing this app to start making money because it's starting to cost me a nice little grip to run it. And with all these users, you would think people would see, and of course, look, times are tough. I get it, but closed mouths don't get fed, so I gotta mention it, even if it's not, it goes against what I feel comfortable doing. Um, but we got all, thousands of users. If everybody just went to support right here, boom, debit or credit or support at the top left. Crypto payments are accepted as well. We got the ClaudeWar meme coin, and then we have all the crypto addresses. So if all those people, you got to think if just $1, it'd be enough to keep us going for the next 6 months. So just something to keep in mind, even if you just send $1 in crypto or debit or credit. Now, if you can't do that, use the app. It's gonna be like that, and that's why I have a plan for this. It's not like I just did this and now I'm here. I'm like, oh shit. You don't think I figured like people might donations are optional, right? So that was never like the plan to sustain, uh, but I underestimated the price for sure. And so we're good. I just it's good. I just want to get those streams of revenue in, especially since we have so many users every day. That's uh, an opportunity for me to get like quality products and companies and things in front of you guys, um, and keep the platform going so everybody can get the information in the process of it all, right? So I showed some of it. Basically, I'm building. It's a press kit. Ah, so now the stream came up, of course. That's funny. Anyway, so I'm working on a press kit. Y'all see that video? Y'all like that video I posted? My family. Let's see. Where's this press kit? Where's this press kit? Mm, That's crazy. X it's gonna get it together. It's my favorite app for sure. I think it's the best social media app, but it's got there it is. It's got some glitches. Why wasn't this post showing up? I had to refresh. Um, so this is essentially what we're building. I need to pass this prompt off. It's a press kit, so we can start getting companies not only advertising but access to our to the API. So this doesn't affect the user at all. So the map on ClaudeWar.info, the interactive globe, all of these layers, it doesn't affect you at all, right? So anyone can still view this in real time, get their news, get their data. But if this is for like uh, trading desks and governments and um, wealth funds to news syndicates that won't that don't want to sit here, and have somebody human watching the globe and the headlines 24/7. They may just want to have the data pulled directly to their system so they can do what they want with it. And so that's a revenue stream. Bloomberg terminal charges like 30K a year, 30,000 USD a year. Um, there's some other open source intelligence platforms. They start at 300 to 500 a month. So CloudWar is going to start at 200 a month. And so things like this exist, just not like how I've built it. This is the first of its kind, only of its kind, that maps so many different data layers from military aircraft to space to celestial, uh, deep spacecraft, comets, asteroids, planets, right? Uh, Next will be space weather, but I skipped over space weather and I gave you guys financial intel. And so that's choke points. That's the price of oil, gold, silver, natural gas, the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, crypto. So we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, Hyperliquid, Tron, and more to be added, right? So I want to have thousands, basically anything that's trackable on here. Um, and charts will be coming up and all of that good stuff. Right now, everything's AI analyzed. So everything I just read off from these military aircraft, I hit analyze, Claude War AI agent gives me an analysis on that airplane. I can go to an asset. Let's do, um, we'll come back to the crypto. Let's do oil, crude oil at 99.6. That's crazy. Let me Google that. Crude oil price. 101.18. Oh my God. So that looks like a discrepancy. So we might get to do that. So I'm going to be on for about 20 minutes, which would be about an hour tonight. Little short stream, but it's Saturday night. So let me go ahead and add that fix. And then um, the prices are different. Y'all mind if I play music? If it bothers you, chat, definitely let me know. The pig they gave us crumbs. How the fuck to make it out this shit when you have the guy be no. Um, I get a lot of support around this app, and it's really cool. And with the support also comes, critics and things. But I want to be mindful of how I present myself at all times. But I'm a different. Also, I value the fact that I'm unique and I'm not stereotypical in any area that I'm in. But at the same time, I always want to make myself and my family proud. But I don't have time in my life to think about other people specifically. I have plenty of time to think of other people, but not judge other people, right? Especially on the internet. So like some people will judge me because I might throw an F bomb out in there, and I'll hear about it through the grapevine. But Um, I kind of, I hear it, okay, but at the same time, judge me by my heart, not by my reactions when I see something exciting on the app that I built. I don't have, yeah, that's what I mean. I think maybe, and no disrespect, some people have too much time on their hands. Maybe worry about the wrong things, but you can still worry about the wrong things and still have love for me. And I see that too. So I appreciate everybody, really everybody that's been supporting. Because these numbers that I just showed, where we got 5,000 users, that was not all me, right? So I can't do this without you. So don't take it any other way, but um, 5,600 users in the last 5.5, 6 days. Okay, so to this, let's get this number right. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna integrate Python Network. Even though this isn't a crypto app, Python Network is gonna give us these prices quicker. What's with this price discrepancy? Can we go ahead and integrate Python Network for price? No. For all assets we track. So let's see why Claude War, whoops, I clicked the news headline. But yeah, so you can check all these news headlines. It'll sort it by region. So if you click Saudi Arabia, notice news headlines change. This app it can make you a lot of money now with the financial markets added. With the um, when I add the DVR function where you can scroll back through and I start really rolling out those paid features, and they'll be paid because they're valuable and can make you money, right? So you don't give out, nobody pays monthly for no reason, right? Maybe you do for fun, right? I don't know. That's kind of a blanket statement, but in this case, this will remain free for the user, but to be used in a way that will make you money, um, since it costs to run this, um, there will be subscriptions for certain layers, not all. But we're not there yet. I'm still perfecting it. I'm just giving you an idea. Um, this app has a future, and so definitely, share it around with your friends and help me out. Um, you got friends in the military? Show it to them. Price discrepancy. Google shows WTI at 101. Last updated at 5 p.m. Oh, so it closed at 101. ClaudeWar shows 996. That's why YouTube, Yahoo Finance pulling the same contract but with the delay. Yahoo Finance is not real time. It pulls the last available close or delayed quote, which can be 15 to 30 minutes behind. Well, it's 9, so there should be. Both numbers are okay, so it's two different sources. Both numbers are correct. They're just from different moments in time. 158 gap is the delay. I don't understand. That should be. So this one's wrong. If this is the time, okay, at 5 p.m. That sums it up. My app is right. It's showing the aftermarket trading. This is showing where it closed at 5 p.m. All right, case closed on that, but still, I want to add Pyth. Pyth is the right long-term answer, but as a complication, Pyth's price feeds are native to Solana. HTTP API, which they have, or running a price service client. The faster path to real-time prices, second to second. Before Pyth, try this first. Replace YouTube Finance with 12 Data or Polygon IO. Both have real-time quotes. Okay, so we'll worry about that later. So right now there is like a 10-minute delay, but when I have charts that come up on this for its purpose, it's fine, right? Um, but when I start having the charts on these cards, which will be in the next few days, I got some work to do. So you see where, like if you're using this app and you find it helpful, support it. Support it. Now let's put the live now banner up on ClaudeWar.info. Link it to here. I like this can. Alright. Okay, we'll double back to this. I'm gonna add pipe though. I want to continue with the press kit. That's gotta get done. Oh, it's right here. I don't have to pull it over. That's cool. David Blaine. Alright, let's get this live press kit. Here, like David Blaine. Boom. Okay, we got the live now on the website. I should have done that 30 minutes ago, but it's all good. Man, I made this video. I hope you guys saw it on my ex Facebook. I'll put it on Instagram and TikTok later, after the stream. But man, family is something. Family is everything, not just something. Family is everything. Um, it's not all. It doesn't always have to be blood related either, right? Um, and yeah, so I got to spend a lot of time with my kids today. We went Easter egg hunting for Easter, of course. What else? Um, and man, they have fun. I have fun. It was a beautiful day out on the lake. I mean, and it's like God got me here. I have struggles. I fear the future, things like that. It's like, why? Why do I have that? Because I know deep down, like God has shown me, like He's got me in His hands. Like, today was a 2 week anniversary of my grandma passing. And, life is so short, and like when people are gone, they're gone for this life anyway, right? And so, um, saying all that to say, life is beautiful, and like when I really think about it, there's no reason to stress, but my mind likes to stress for some reason, likes to find things, and you know what? The future's uncertain, and nothing's guaranteed. Like, I need to start finding peace in that for sure. That's just what it is. Look at all the things I've done, look at and I'm sure everybody can kind of relate. Um, I'm sure we've all made it through things that we thought we can never make it through, right? And we made it through. And we sometimes even do better than we ever thought we could have or would have. So it's like, why do we even stress? Because I'm 30, right? So I know I haven't been through everything there is to go through. But, I've been through a lot, enough to know that, the God that I believe in, um, has got me, has got me in His hands, um, on a deep, deep level. Like I had to do CPR on my grandmother's like lifeless body, trigger warning. Should have triggered warning before I said it, but just keeping it real with you. And so for like, I've seen a lot of things happen to a lot of people unalive, people near unaliving, people in various states of right. And it's different when it's the woman that raised me for help was by my side for 30 years, my whole life. And so I couldn't get those images and thoughts and pictures and things out of my head. Um, to the point it got really, really, really bad. And so my mom told me just pray. Like, have you prayed about it, G? I'm like, I pray every day, but for whatever reason, I didn't think to specifically pray about that, and that's, whatever you want to call it. Um, but the power of prayer it's powerful. And so I prayed, because I'm like, I can't keep reliving that moment every second of the day when I'm awake. There was no escaping it. I prayed, and that was that last day that it was that loud. Um, you know, Intrusive thoughts still happen, but so saying that to say I have like tangible evidence in my life. There's a God. There is something bigger than me that's helping me. That you know has my back. So why should I ever stress? Why should I ever fear? But it's easy to still do that. Human nature, because we don't know the future. I can think all we want about the future, and that uncertainty can lead to fear. But I'm really trying to lean into like um, just looking at my life, and all those tangible reasons and proof that I have that I don't believe in coincidences. So there's something that has me. Um, there's something that either, guides me at times, moves obstacles out of my way at times, put things in my way that seem like obstacles, but are really just like weights to make me stronger. If that makes sense. You work out a muscle, it gets stronger. Um, and so why should I ever stress? Why should I ever fear? As long as I do the best that I can. And I think that's shout out to my boy Jay, self-made millionaire, but fuck that. He's just an amazing. Excuse my language. He's just an amazing person. Um, Definitely a guy that inspires me. I'm grateful to call friend. And he told me I never heard it before. Actually, he said I think it was either he said it or he was like my grandpa told me or something. But he said I've never seen anybody failed that tried. Let me hold on. What is this saying? It's not, surely this not just exclusive to his grandfather, right? What is it saying? I never seen anyone fail that tried, or is it reversed? Let's see. But anyway, it resonated with me. Like, just try. You won't fail. Do the best. So, why should I ever fear the future or what's gonna happen? I never seen anyone who worked hard fail. I never met a person who worked hard and lost. Maybe it was exclusive to his grandpa. But both of those sum it up, right? So, and that's the case with my life. I can only speak from my experience, but I've never gave everything my all and really failed. I try my best. I can't fail, so why fear? And all the things I don't know about and I can't control. That's for God. That's not for me to worry about. Like I'm thinking right now, how am I gonna, I need revenue streams coming in this app. How is it like, why stress it? Why am I stressing that right now when it's not like it's going to be shut down tonight, right? By the grace of God, it's not going to be shut down tomorrow. Why am I thinking so far ahead in the future when you see how that already changed this user interface? I'm adding analytics for advertisers and things, but it's still being built. It's still in process. Anyway, why am I stressing that? When God gave me a brain and the capabilities to prepare for it and put things in place, money will come in from it, right? And I'm waiting on this build. And while I'm waiting on the build, people give me a hard time because, all right, so there was a token launched with ClaudeWar, but it's a meme coin, right? A meme coin, it will benefit from like revenue buybacks when that time comes, but that's nothing guaranteed. I'm not guaranteeing or promising you anything, right? But look at the thing, like this fucking, excuse my language, this meme coin is trash can, and it's at $680,000 market cap. You're telling me that anything called trash can is better or higher value than this, right? And so I'm saying that to say, one, this isn't a reflection of that. Will this catch up? My opinion, not my financial advice, but my opinion is yes, absolutely. Because what people don't understand is I'm not building all of this for that. Now the funding and the revenue, yes, that would help majorly, but I'm not building all of this for that. Um, I'm building this because it's a quality product and it's needed, something that's needed, something that people use. It's helpful. There's tons of reasons, right? And so a byproduct of that is this. If you get what I'm saying? So people will laugh and say, "Oh, you're doing all this for a meme coin that's at 5K." No, I'm not doing this for a meme coin that's at 5K. I'm doing it for, and let's publish this. Well, let's run it through right. I'm doing it for an app that has 5,000 users and is pushing 1,000 new users every day. Right? There's a disconnect there, but that's because the markets, and that's not what I'm going into tonight. There's a disconnect there. One, because I'm different, and there's not a lot of people building things like this, and still building through. Most people just build for this, and so if this is down, they're not actually business owners. They're not actually, how do I say? They're just there for the moment, and whatever those people are building or the meme they're creating, they don't. It lives or dies by this, right? And that's not the case with Claude War. Claude War does not live or die by anything this does, right? But at the same time, you know, if you're using the app, and I need all the support I can get, and that's with retweets, that's sharing to friends, but it's also donating. I make it super easy, reputable app, buymeacoffee.com/ClaudeWar. It's on the app. It's the first thing you see, actually. It's the first thing you see. So if everybody gave $1 of the 5,600 people, that's $5,600 just from people that's joined it since I've been logging it the last 6 days, right? So it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory by any means. All right. Replit says this hasn't finished publishing yet, but will all this data fill out? Second image and third image went away after those last changes. Let's go over here. Copy that. Replit said this. And so I'm just feeding the prompt of the finished work from replit.com and showing it where it looks like we need some improvements because those headlines should still be up. And then the third image, that's reverse. All right, and let's get this. This should be numbers. Boom. Screenshot that and say, what's going on? Why is this data not there? Probably going to say because it's not done publishing. Oh, it did publish. And let's see, it worked for 5 minutes. And it did a lot of lines, 72 lines read, 790 lines of code done. Okay, it says, let's refresh it, see if they come up. Oh yeah, we need to fix that. So that's the, so the data did not fill in, neither did the headlines. So easy fix. And we refresh. I appreciate the follow. Who's that? Iron Vision Media, my boy. Bro, I appreciate you so much, C. You're an angel, bro. You're an angel, man. I don't care what they say about you. I don't care what they say about you, man. It's a blessing and an honor to call you friend, bro. Appreciate that. See, that man's so busy. He don't got time but to check in like for a couple minutes out of a week, and he supports, right? And he doesn't even use that. Um, Not to shame anybody, but I appreciate you, man. And so anybody, yeah. So if you use this app, support it. Simple. And it's not. It don't gotta be money. Retweet, sharing it with a friend that helps too. Um, all right. Oh man, see what you up to tonight. I don't know what platform you on. Twitch. Can I see that chat? Oh yeah, we got some hearts in the app. Who is that? I really need to fix my chat. Oh, that's my boy. Yeah, bro. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. Much love, bro. Okay. Where did my headlines go? See, these should be loading, so we're gonna get that fixed. Alright, got analytics, headlines, and but yeah. So all of this is for since yeah, and again, people in crypto they give me a hard time because oh he's gonna stream for this that's at 5K. And that's because those people they're not traders, really investors. If this was a company or an IPO, they wouldn't recognize it. They wouldn't know greatness if it smacked them in the face in terms of where to put their money. That's just the majority of. So when I'm showing people in that category, because that's the majority of the category, in crypto, but see people outside of crypto see the value in this before the people inside of crypto. So like this is a and that's why I say it'll benefit, but um, it's it's a this does well, the app does well, right? Number on this keeps going up. Everything else will sort out, and so people just aren't used to that, sadly. To people building something to last. Um, so just to clarify that I'm building not for a 5K market cap meme coin. I'm building because this what I'm building, ClaudeWar.info, it has the ability to be a 7, 8, 9, 10 figure company. No 7, 8, 9, 10 figure companies built in a week. Not even three, not even four, not even right. Um, it may seem like that way. That's just because we only see the success in a lot of things. When by the time we see a lot of popular things, we're seeing the success. We're not seeing that goes for any industry, right? And unfortunately, just crypto, the shelf life of a lot of things just doesn't have much of one. It has like of milk, of spoiled milk, a lot of things. Whether it's a company, whether it's a meme coin, whether it's a utility, whatever you want to call it. In crypto, most things, 99.9% of things would be like the math of it. No headlines. Give me a prompt to tell Replit to fix this. And let's see what press looks like. So we have a press kit. So again, the contingency was never just run off donations forever. But yeah, absolutely. I'm like, and this was way before we had 5,800 users, or 5,600 users. I just knew that if I built something that people used, um, that and then especially if I added this in, like right now, you can use this to assist you with making money. People won't mind donating, right? And so that's my philosophy until I get, um, what should I say, the wings up and the landing gear off the ground, whatever, right? People would be willing to help, and then we got the meme coin that helps too, right? Um, and that'll give me a buffer if I build something that thousands of people use. Then eventually I'll be able to generate revenue from it. And so with the numbers they're not displaying right now on this, they were on the press kit. We'll check that out in a minute. Um, that's what I'm working on, building ways to earn revenue to keep the lights on this thing. Um, I got a family to feed. Simple. But we got some runway. It's just something that needs to be done. Because why not? We're there. This app is there. And we're at 5,000 plus users in a few days. And A lot of them are returning, which means people are using it and coming back. So I'm on the right track. Just need to trust the process. Coming from crypto, the same place I say that has a short attention span and like companies don't last long. Tokens and like 99% of things don't last past a day. New assets on DeFi. And that's part of the reason why there's not a lot of people coming there. Period. Like that's why. It wasn't always like that. It's markets are efficient by nature, especially decentralized markets. It won't always be like that because it's going to continue to exist. And so, for it to continue to exist, part of that market efficiency is self preservation. Um, and so, just, I think every market cycle has it's never the same. So, every bear market's not going to be the same as the last, right? And this is a perfect example. It's like Bitcoin and a lot of asset, well, not a lot, but Bitcoin's up, but the tragic state of on chain is where it's at. Um, let's make sure we're fixing, yep, the headlines and the analytics dashboard. So with that being said, the not a lot of people are coming in. If this was a bull market, I have no doubt in my mind where this would be. It would be like way up there. Even with just a website, it didn't even have to work, right? That's a risk on bull market. Right now we're in a bear. A lot of this shit, it's fake. It's not real. It's people that are scamming. Like they bought it down here and they're artificially inflating it, and in the next few hours it's going to be at zero. I could go through the list of things, but I'm not going to do that. That's not going to help me. I'm just putting into perspective. This valuation does not correlate to this because the numbers, which let's pull up the press kit. And so this press kit is how I will companies will see what I have to offer them. You see the numbers keep going up. The press kit looks good. Go ahead and I just want to make sure these are real numbers and not static. And so I'm gonna ask Claude to make a prompt to double check that, if I'm looking at numbers and they're not real, that doesn't help me, right? So I did the same thing actually because the dashboard that was showing like 800 new users a day, I had trouble believing it for a couple reasons. One, nobody was donating their support and hitting that donate link. Two, the meme coins valuation, I knew it did, I knew it was worth more than whatever that, but and three, it was broken for like the first 4 days. The first 4 days I built the dashboard, I couldn't get it up, and it wasn't a priority. It was just stats, right? So by the time I did get it up, our users had grown tremendously. So I didn't believe. I'm like, is this real? Am I being fooled? So I had a bunch of prompts ran in analytics, diagnostics, to make sure that I wasn't being fooled. Because if I'm thinking I have this many users, but the reality is there's like some glitch giving me these numbers and that's not real, then that's a problem. I'm wasting time, or at least not fixing what needs to be fixed to get the numbers up. Thank God that's not the case. We have real users, and so that's almost 6,000 people that could have been viewing a quality product or an advertisement right here, and money that could be going to keep this thing going, right? So we just added that like 48 hours ago. API is not even up yet, but I locked down it so it can't be used for free. So what do you have to worry about? As a user, you can use ClaudeWar.info for free. As a trader who wants to plug this info into your trading bot, um, you have to pay. As a news desk who wants our solar or asteroid or all the other headlines or our commodities assets, our choke points for supply chain, if you want that in real time like this, like Claude War shows it, so you can go and then make news headlines that also make you advertising money, you have to pay, right? So this is for the paywalls are for people who can use this to make money. And so yeah, this can absolutely be used to make a lot of money in the right hands. So yeah, it's worth every bit of that $200 a month. And even I would argue you can use it too as is from this view, but it's not as streamlined. So if you want the convenience, entity, a business, they want the convenience of having this plugged directly into their computer through API access on a monthly subscription. Like I said, Bloomberg terminal charges 30,000 a year. I'm charging $200 a month. Right? This stuff is usually not affordable for the average person. All right. Press kit looks good. Let's make sure it's pulling live updated numbers. Um, add a download press kit, and we'll make the download all of this to a PDF with real-time stats that moment it's downloaded. So it's like an advanced press kit, more or less. And again, that's what I'll send out to companies, let people know, like, why would they spend hundreds of dollars, or depending on length of time, thousands of dollars with ClaudeWar? Um, what benefit is it? And so that's what a press kit is. I need to add some images in there, which I will do. Oh, it already had the download media kit. Let's go, Claude. And let's go me for even knowing about it. Request advertising. Oh, cool. So it has an email, the request, contact. Yeah, amazing. And so we'll handle it that way, and then we'll just add a quick um, automated system. Live stats are already pulling correctly. 814 daily. Yeah, that is live. We already have the live PDF download. Let's click download and make sure it works. Download media kit. Is it live? Oh no. Yeah, we need that fixed. It has a download, but it looks like this. We want it to download like it's damn near a screenshot. Thanks. Garage. Down on my. All right. Confirm these are locked down from previous. No one can use these right now. Correct? Flow, sleeping on the flow. Okay. Down below. What prompt did I feed in there? Oh yeah, headlines. Down below, below, down below. What is this thing doing? Okay, it's showing what to download and how it should be downloaded. Great. All right, let me make sure those APIs are locked down for now. Unless people pay, then I'll give them the keys to the globe. Um, Again, as the user, this does not affect you unless you're a business that benefits from this, a trading desk, news source, wealth fund operator, owner, um, trader, advanced trader, AI. You have a trading bot. You want to plug this in. Yes, all dev endpoints are locked. Um, yeah. So if they try to use that, they'll get a 401 error. Cool. Give me a scenario to speak on live stream. Walking. I like this. Watch this. Walking through, and then I'll probably end it after this. Give me a scenario to speak on live stream. Walking through ClaudeWar.info on how someone can plug in the API key from ClaudeWar into a trading bot, um, and make profit give other examples from different industries. That info, monthly sub $200 is beneficial to companies, non-wordy but efficient ex post. Alright, so Replic's done over here. Let's take this, see if it fixed the headlines. I don't even know if I need to publish now. Yeah, it appears that I do. Alright. Let's publish that. Walk through this live on screen. So I asked AI to give me a prompt so I can explain to you guys, right, efficiently. Um, walk through this live on screen. Commodity trading firm runs an automated bot. Commodity trading firm runs an automated bot that trades WTI crude oil futures. Right now, their bot only reacts to price movement. It's blind to why price moves. They plug in ClaudeWar API key. Now their bot gets a webhook every time. Let's put this on full screen. Commodity trading firm runs an automated bot that trades WTI crude oil futures. Right now, their bot only reacts to price movement. It's blind to why price moves. They plug in ClaudeWar API key. Now their bot gets a webhook every time vessel count at the Strait of Hormuz drops below a threshold. Bot logic. If Hormuz vessel count drops 30% and oil is up more than 3%, increase long position automatically. No human needed. Right now on the screen, Hormuz shows 0 vessels. Oil is up 7%. That signal would have fired this morning and that trade would have printed. That's $200 a month to potentially front run a supply disruption signal before it hits Bloomberg. Drop the mic right there. See, I don't even have time to explore this in depth of how I can run it right now to trade as a trader because I'm building it, but I can't wait to use it. Other industry examples, maritime insurance underwriter that insure cargo ships. Every morning they pull our API for maritime vessels to see which of their insured vessels are near active conflict zones. If a ship is near a high stress choke point during an escalation, they adjust the policy risk in real time instead of finding out after a claim where it would be hit by a missile or something, or torpedo. Defense contractor analyst pulls API intel flights from ClaudeWar.info to monitor C-17 and P-8 activity near conflict zones. Unusual military airlift patterns near a region often precede public announcements by 6 to 12 hours. $200 a month for early pattern recognition. Crypto hedge funds correlates API/Intel financial API from ClaudeWar.info. VIX plus conflict data with Bitcoin price action historical pattern. VIX above 30 during active conflict equal Bitcoin drops then rebounds. Bot watches the VIX feed and conflict zone simultaneously and sizes positions accordingly. Energy research firm sells geopolitical risk reports to clients. Instead of manually monitoring 5 choke points themselves, they pipe ClaudeWar data into their model, automating what used to take an analyst 2 hours of morning research, $200 a month versus 1 analyst hour per day. And finally, open source intelligence newsletter pulls API Intel news and missile strikes every hour, auto-generates their briefing with verified source link data. ClaudeWar becomes their data backbone. $200 a month versus subscribing to 6 separate data providers. And again, mic drop. I mean, that says it all. And see, as people see it, more and more, um, how this doesn't affect normal users accessing ClaudeWar.info. Only entities. Entities or traders for profit. All right, where are we at? Over here. Let's plug this in to Claude. Replit said this. Set this. We're probably going to publish that. We'll check to make sure um, the fixes work. Claude War is free for the user. Always open the globe, see everything. Live military flights, vessel counts, conflicts on financial markets, space events, no login, no pay. Or you can log in. No login unless you want to use the global chat, that is. No paywall. The API is different. My app, ClaudeWar. ClaudeWar API is different. That's for entities building on top of the data. A trading bot watching her moves, vessel counts drop in real time, and sizing oil positions automatically. Maritime insurers tracking insured ships near active conflict zones live. Defense analysts monitoring military flight patterns. Crypto funds correlating VIX spikes with escalation data automatically. The globe stays free for average users. The API is $200 a month for those profiting from it. Bloomberg charges tens of thousands. For perspective, that revenue supports the platform. Two different things, one URL, all info. Um, Unless I add the users, the run down on the user count, I'll add it beginning of that X post. Actually, that's not even important. Both bugs are fixed. Hit publish. All right, let's publish that. Make sure it's fixed. Where's the X at? There we go. Improve always. Open the globe, see everything live. No paywall. Um, Alright, so we'll add the press kit. Press kit for traders. We'll say for business. Advertisers. There's love. Great. We already said that. Remove that. Oh yeah, it's giving a live markets. I love it. Let's go. I mean, it's $1 billion app. God gives me the breath to keep building it. That's where it's going. Um, and you heard it here first, just like you hear a lot of stuff first over on the X, because we do live alerts. See, it's pushing out numbers. Powered by you and ClaudeWar. Use it, support it. Yep, that's what we wanted to say. All right, it's updated. Let's get this over here. Let's put the press kit. See the numbers keep going up. Right? That's the biggest indicator. That keeps going, and from that we can build this dynasty that I'm building, right? And so we're having some good growth. I mean, every day, every minute, every hour, right? And we'll add the subscription tiers. Sure. Okay. Boom, and let's check those updates, make sure they work. Let me format this. And then let's see, make sure those updates pushed. And again, if you use it, definitely leave me feedback, share it with friends. If you can, donate. If you can't, don't worry about it. As you see, I'm working um, to bring value to keep these lights on this app. So don't you worry. But if you can, it's appreciated. But you can support without your wallet. You can support by sharing with friends. Um, and let's bring this over to X. So I appreciate it. If you didn't catch my stream last night, like all the people, um, in general, but especially from my hometown, from the places I was raised, from Carolinas to Virginia, to Carolina, Virginia's, Florida's, the Boston's, from California, all the places I've lived and was raised, and all that. I appreciate you for the support, big time. Um, I can't do any of this without the support, without y'all's support. It doesn't matter what it is, from music to crypto, and of course, God Almighty Himself. So, all right, so we got this fixed. Let's go. So, boom, that's fixed. News headlines, everything's working. Yeah, choke points are showing. Crypto overlay, market pulse. Boom, ETH, Ethereum, WTI. We need to make sure those aren't like overlap, and I think they are. Yeah. So on that note, we got to do a few things, and that'll be it. So we're gonna uh, some assets overlap, gold and ETH can't be seen. Let's fix that, and then um, remove the join the live banner and replace that banner with uh, press kit and API and advertisers. Um, yeah, let's do that. So let's refresh. Yeah, okay. Second image, and then I think that was. Oh yeah, and then let's add. We'll clean up the top up here and add a press kit in the top header. Add a press kit button on the top header of ClaudeWar.info. Button, I mean, press kit slash advertisers button on the pop-up model. And just in case, all right, and there's the data. Let's make sure. Okay, and we need that still fixed. Easy. Boom. So we'll add a press kit to these buttons. Boom. And then we'll say, why isn't this fixed over here? Why isn't this updated? Image traffic. And see, that's why I couldn't get the traffic page to load for like 4 or 5 days. So I was shocked when I saw how many users we had. And final image traffic. Enter as stream is ended. And final image traffic page not showing numbers. All right, it's been a good vibe coding sesh chat. Um, dang, my thing was backwards. Y'all couldn't see any of that. I'm so sorry. I was talking. I just realized that y'all were seeing my face. I'm glad I was talking, and kind of narrating as I went. So just to real quick before we end the stream, this is gonna get fixed, but it does show up on ClaudeWar.info/press. We're at 816 daily users, 5,700. What's up, Zeppelin? Love you, bro. 5,700 users over the last 7 days, which is really five and a half because we just started tracking it. Um, Unique visitors, 3,700. So that means we have a lot of returning people. 26 days since launch of the app and 50 plus data layers. So this is the press at ClaudeWar.info/press. Um, yeah. So we're going to open this up because we got to keep the lights on. And if you use it, support it as a user. It'll always stay free for you. So support it. There's all the support info, how you can do that in the ClaudeWar.info app on mobile. You can click support right when you uh, go, type it in on desktop, same thing, or top left, because the top left will give you all the options and it just says support. Can't do this without you. Wouldn't want to. I appreciate y'all so much. Oh yeah, yeah, Zeppelin. This is what I've been cooking up. It's never been done before. Um, in crypto, out of crypto, and so this space people don't really when something like says long term, like people don't believe it, but I don't know if you caught the part where I was like, people give me a hard time in a couple of discords, like, oh, you're live streaming for a sub 10K market cap meme coin. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm not doing all of this for this chart, but it's hard to say in this space. You know what I'm saying. But I'm not doing all of this for this chart. That will be a byproduct. I'm doing all of this because of uh, where's the press kit at? I'm doing all of this press because of this, because of all this, in the app and the use case of the app. We're in a weird market, right? If we're talking specific to this, and this does not, so I'm explaining that to people. This does not equal the value of this. I knew it. I felt I'm like people outside of crypto are going to see the value of this before people in crypto. Just that's where the market's at right now, and that's how it's playing out. And that's cool with me because I keep building. But that's why I'm letting all the Web 2, normies, people outside of crypto know that are using this by the thousands. A dollar, throw it in there. Um, it doesn't have to be money. Uh, Share it with friends. Post about it. Stream, live stream with it. There's tons of ways to support. All right, 5 UI fixes, and then we're gonna wrap the stream up on that note. This one's a little bit shorter, but I'll see y'all most likely to either tomorrow or the next day. So I'm doing every day or every other day at least. Um, appreciate. I'm glad you love it, bro, and I love you, man. Really, bro. Been rocking with you for a while. I'm glad we met. I forget who introduced us. Oh, Beast Mode. But yeah, bro. Love you. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have fun. Have a safe weekend. Stop and smell the roses. I did some today with my kids for Easter egg hunting. I might do it again tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, definitely do that. And we're linked in, locked in. Talk to you soon, bro. All right. Peace, everyone.